It is Thursday, November 20th. It is now 12:32 p.m. It is the Superintendent Search Steering Subcommittee meeting. It is being recorded by us, the Superintendent's Search Steering Subcommittee. If any other persons present are also recording, you must notify the chairperson, that is me, at this time. There is nobody else in the room. We are joined by one person online who I believe is our representative, Judy from NESDEC. Elsewise, we're going to call to order. I'm Member Sexton. I am here. Member Sorger.
I'm here.
Member Childs.
Here.
Great. And we are called to order at 12:33 p.m. Wonderful. Space for public comment. There is no public for to comment. So if public shows up, they will of course be recognized. But until then, let's move along. Next item is approval of the subcommittee meeting minutes of October 30th, November 6th, and November 10th. Did folks have a chance to look at those minutes?
I did, but I want to take one last quick look to make sure.
Absolutely. Take your time.
Yeah.
I'm going to slowly make a move to approve.
I'll second that.
Excellent. All right. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. The motion is unanimous. The minutes have been approved. Any vote? Thank you so much. Next item is reviewing the timeline for key screening committee and applicant dates. So what I pasted in the agenda is directly from the timeline that is up on our website. It lays out the sort of key screening committee activities mostly. And so this, I think, will help orient what really the next phase of our work is. We will have a training, an orientation meeting on December 3rd, another second part of the orientation on December 9th. We'll be actually conducting interviews the week of the 15th. And by December 18th, we will have a list of candidates to recommend to the full committee for second round interviews. So that is the goal.
So, okay.
Yep. Any questions about that?
I have a question.
Yes.
What time?
This is an excellent question, and this is exactly what I'm hoping we can discuss with Judy on, because part of this is dependent on her schedule. But yes, I think it would be great if we could start getting more specific about what times of the day on December 3rd and December 9th. My assumption is evening. Exactly when would be good to know.
Yeah, so I'm available at any time. So you get to pick the time that works for you. You know, the rest of the people on the committee and possibly their other obligations.
So is the 3rd going to be the first time we pull together the full screening committee?
Yes.
Okay. Do we need, well, we know they're available that day, but do we need to confirm with them a time?
Well, I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
Well, I move to suspend Robert's Rules of Order to have an informal open discussion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Great.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no problem.
So this is my thought. It's almost Thanksgiving. And we have 11 people that we told that they had to be available that week. And I think we have to make a time today because we have to notify all those people we're going to have this meeting at thus and such a time. Or if you don't think, Ellen, I don't have to, it doesn't have to be my way or the highway, but I personally definitely need to know. I'm like, what time is it? I was writing to both of you. What time is it the 3rd? Because my own calendar gets insane. And, but I'm not the only person. There's 8 other people. I don't know what those 8 other, I can only imagine what you guys do. I know what I do. The 8 other people, I don't know what they are. They need to know the time. I would imagine most of them are figuring it's going to be from 4 o'clock on. That's my guess.
sure what other mental models people might have in their mind about what
Okay.
time it is.
And I don't have a dog in the fight as far as it goes. I'm gonna actually look at my own thing. But I think it's really important that we make that. And
Well, yes, because we need to give people enough time to make alternate arrangements for childcare and the like.
right, I'm trying to think of there's several people that work in the school. And I don't want to eliminate, and then we have some parents. I think it's I don't know. I think it's important for the evening.
I would say 5:30 at the earliest because clubs and things at the high school end at 5.
I also think we had originally said evening, keep the evening open. So I don't think you want it too early.
Me neither.
Folks were told evening. So.
Do we want to say 6:30 to standardize with normal city council and school committee meetings?
We could do that. So my thinking, what I'm wondering is for at least this first orientation session, that's a 3-hour meeting. Do we want to bite the bullet and say we'll go to 9:30?
No, we don't want to do that to them. That's too.
And so I just also am wanting to note that we are kind of starting to go into the next agenda item. So are there any other questions about the dates as presented?
Okay, my only question is the begin review of applications, application deadline December 1st, and the complete organized applicant files.
That is done by NESDEC.
Oh, that's done by NESDEC? Okay, just
And
wanted
they
to confirm
will
that.
then give us access to the file management system that they have. Where we will be
Okay.
able to go in and view all of the statements, the resumes, the who's its and the what's its.
Sounds good to me then. That was my only question.
When are we gonna have that?
Well, we don't do that. They do that on December 1st. They start compiling everything. Second, third is when they.
On the 3rd, I imagine, is when we will get instructions about how to access. And then we'll have.
Yes. So I will have an envelope for everyone on the committee with a link inside the envelope that takes you to all of the applications. And so when people leave, they'll be able to, and I'll show everybody how to get on it if you'd like at that meeting. And when people leave, they can go home that very evening if they want to, or whenever the next day, go onto that link and start looking at all of the applications. They'll all be organized.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is the meeting going to be hybrid?
It is up to you. I would recommend that all the screening committee members are in one room and not have people hybrid, because otherwise you might have their husbands, kids, whoever around them, and you don't know who's there. I just think it's better to be in the room. And this is especially true actually for the second meeting of the group, because at the second meeting, we're going to be talking about candidates. In the room, we'll know who's in earshot. When you're hybrid, other people can be in earshot too, and it really can get out there.
So, it's well known throughout the municipality that, and we have an ordinance to that effect, that our meetings have a hybrid component. So I think I would prefer that. I would definitely agree with our leader here, Judy, but I just want to put that out there for a parent.
Oh, yeah. Your executive session hybrid as well? Yeah.
Sometimes if some of the members are not present physically, but I also want to make a distinction. Is this a municipal meeting? Like, we've been wanting to be in alignment with our other meetings, but this is a job search. It's not the same as and so I'm curious about where that line is drawn.
Yeah, I don't know your individual policies. I'm just telling you the issues with having something hybrid. And of this nature.
Okay. I am just thinking about the people that signed up, and we could, what if somebody says, like, you just say this is this, what if somebody says I can participate remotely, but I can't be there in person? What do you say? Because we told everybody that they had to be available. Did we tell everybody they had to be available in person?
I don't think we explicitly said that. I think our best option now is to try to thread the needle of saying, it's really
Okay.
strongly
Okay.
preferred in person, but in the event that that is just not possible, hybrid. But as
Okay.
far as, I don't even know if public comment is warranted for workshops as part of a job search. So I think it'd be more of hybrid availability for the members of the search committee rather than the town at large.
Oh, no, well, this is a private, I get that.
Exactly.
This is
Yeah.
definitely a private meeting and so I understand that. I was just always
Well,
making that
if-
pitch because some people have young children?
Also, what if someone comes down with COVID or has COVID in their household? They still want to honor their commitment but cannot be in the same room.
That's a good point.
So I think we should make it clear to them that in-person is strongly, strongly preferred, but if someone comes needing an accommodation, they should be given an accommodation. That would be my personal preference.
It makes me really nervous having just the potential for people's confidential information to find itself being discussed just willy-nilly. And I recognize that. And counsel that we were given very early on was that if someone finds themselves in the middle of this process and they can't find them where they can no longer attend the dates, then they can no longer attend the dates. That was counsel we received very early on. And that is like, hurts my heart to do, honestly. And I sort of recognize why it is necessary in situations like these.
First meeting doesn't have anything that's would disclose a person's name. I just wouldn't be able to go. I wouldn't feel comfortable going onto the link to show people because it would come up with names. But after that, and when you're having interviews, I think it would be in your best interest not to have anything hybrid, because as soon as candidates start seeing that, I think they'll definitely not be either impressed or feel like confidentiality is guaranteed.
So I think hearing that, my preference would be that if we absolutely have to have something just for the 3rd, then that is a possibility, but prefer not to, and no hybrid for any of the other. Does that sound?
I believe that is what I heard. And one consolation that I was thinking about is at least maybe we can feed folks and have some stuff available here, which I know is does not begin to cover the issue, but
Yeah, I'm not. I never think about food, so that's good. I'm not like that. I think we just, but it's fine. If you want to do this, it's fine. I shouldn't speak on that.
So the plan is in person for all of these meetings. The only one that has the possibility of hybrid being the first one, and that should not be dangled as an open option, but only on request with good reason, and that person's pinky promise that they will be in person for the rest.
And so the sooner that information should be communicated, in my opinion, to the people today.
In other words, we vote today, it goes out today.
basically, yeah.
Yes.
They need to know that this is December 3rd at 6 o'clock. They have to change whatever. They all know it's the 3rd, right?
Yes.
They all have been aware of these dates and they signed a certification that they
Yeah.
were available.
Okay.
These dates And then they confirmed again with me verbally over the
Oh,
phone.
okay, good. Okay, well, that's
That
good.
they were available
I
Tuesday.
about that. I
Great.
was worrying about this.
No, I
worry about.
yeah, the double booking, like we're all so busy. We all have just like so much going on. I totally get that. But yes, and getting like this is definitely verging onto next agenda item territory, which is generating a list of tasks to make these meetings happen, which is exactly what we're talking about of getting that email, like what are the contents that we want in it that we know need to be there. I just assumed that I would send it and take on that labor for folks.
No objection for me.
Wonderful. And then I would work with Becky to get rooms reserved, make sure that like all our tech needs are taken care of and all that sort of stuff. Does that sound?
You know what? I got to interject. I just realized something anyway.
Mm-hmm.
This first meeting is okay, definitely, to be hybrid.
Yeah.
Because it can't be considered executive because we're not talking about any individual person. So
Okay.
I
Is there the
think it,
possibility of any individual person's information being shared though?
no, I think I'll make sure it's not.
Okay.
I could make sure, I could definitely make sure it's not. In other districts, it was an open meeting. Nobody showed up and they didn't tape it, record it anyway. I don't know what your policy is on recording meetings that are officially open.
We have to, yeah.
Yeah, if you have to in your
Mhm.
district, then that's okay too. We won't mention anybody's name at this first meeting. In the second meeting, it's definitely an executive session.
Mhm.
And
What is
so
the first one?
it's a little
Oh,
different.
sorry.
Frankly, I think that like it's easier if people just get one, like it's either all this or all this. That way they're not trying to keep in their mind, oh, it's this day, but this other
But
day.
also the first one could arguably be executive session in one of those things because we are going to be talking about the kind of questions that we'll be giving people. And so that does impact negotiation.
The statutory language does give us the ability to make all of this session.
That's true. Some committees do the questions afterwards in between. And they do it just as a small group, like your small group, and some do it within this first session. So if you do it within this first session, it can be considered executive because you wouldn't want that to get out to be public. Yes.
And I think that we do want to try to keep as much of the work as possible in the dates when the big group is all together, because we've sort of like wanted to invite them in to be part of the process. We don't need to take on that work, the three of us. That's why we brought these people forward to share their thoughts and ideas with us. Cool. Is there anything else that you think we should keep in mind? Because I'm assuming, Judy, that are you going to drive out here for these orientation dates, or will you be online?
I could drive out. I don't mind driving out. I
Nice
mean,
out here.
if half of the people, yeah, it's nice out there. That's right. I don't mind driving out at all. I feel like it's a little bit more personal, you know?
Yeah, that
The
would be
other
really
thing too
lovely.
is I could share with you right now the packet that I put
Please.
together. And that might generate more, oops, we got to do this. Oops, you know what I mean? The to-do list might be generated if you take a look at.
That would be lovely. Could you put put a link to that in the Google Drive that all of our materials are in?
That folder.
Oh yeah, I could put it in the Google Drive. You know what I'll do? I'll put
Or
it
you
in
could
the
just
Google
email it
Drive.
and I could put it in there. Either way.
Yeah, yeah, I could do that. But you know what I'm going to do right now? Do you want me to share it on the screen?
Sure. Let me make sure. I don't know if you have permission.
I could send it. Oh, all I have to do is send a request. It goes to you.
All right. It looks like you have the ability now.
Okay. Okay. So I go to share.
don't learn how to do that yet.
You're just gonna, that's
Um,
You hit the caret up just to make sure that, go to advanced sharing options.
Guess
I
we're,
think this is
Yep,
working.
it is set up. Yep. There we
Okay,
are.
I think it's working. Now I just chose it. There, I got the share button. Somehow my computer's being a little slow today.
yeah, and that, well, I mean, I don't know if this has been intentional, but we have not been able to see your video the whole time.
Really? No.
Yeah.
On my end, it says that I have a video. Isn't that weird?
Interesting. That is interesting. And we see the screen, our screen says Judy has started screen sharing, but we don't actually see what you're screen sharing.
maybe there's some other
Wow.
button.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to do then? This might, usually when I meet with you, I'm home and not in the office. So this
Uh-huh.
laptop in the office is actually slower than my one at home. So what I'm going to do right now is, I mean, you can continue talking. I'll figure this out. I'm going to put this document in your Google Drive so you can open it up on your
Okay.
computer.
Thank
You
you
just have
very
to-
much. Yeah, so
This is,
just
there
to
we go.
just to start sharing the things that were on the top of my brain were getting this email out of saving the date and also calendar invitations. That way it auto populates to whatever their email is and hopefully shows up on their phone.
Oh, yeah, those things, yeah.
Yep. Getting food ordered and together, and possibly I'll probably have to do a like, what are your dietary restrictions poll, which is fine. And then kind
Yeah.
of, we've got time. I've also been continuing to try to work the
Thing I'm
cookbook.
sharing.
Yeah, you might try unsharing and resharing, or I'd have to, I don't know, getting out of the program, like getting out of the session and coming back in.
I don't know. I had a 90-minute, a whole 90-minute lesson on screen sharing.
90
One-
minutes.
90 minutes I spent and never
Jump back.
mentioned about. Forget it.
Could try again.
Yeah. Well, it seems here the issue is likely on the part of Judy's computer, just because we also don't have the video feed. I wonder if it's
Yeah,
an
let me just,
access card.
Well, we're not. See their phone, their device under now.
yeah,
Oh, and now I'm not sure that we're hearing you very well either.
Maybe she went away. Don't listen to me. Please
Okay.
don't listen to me. I don't know why I start talking. When it comes about this with the IT, I'm like, I have no idea. This is a person who took 90 minutes of someone's time and then got scared and thought that I couldn't screen share and give it to someone else. So don't listen to me. Listen to each other. You all know what you're doing. Want me to go touch the screen?
No, it's
that works
not.
another day.
Now that's if the screen turns off and the screen
Okay.
is on.
Okay. I was, before you got here, I was singing your praises, your IT praises.
But okay, so aside from getting this email sent, getting rooms reserved, getting food pulled and then ordered, and then Chromebooks if we got them, are there other sort of logistical pieces related to the screening committee and getting them set up that we need to think about?
So, okay, so we've got 2 days that we probably, oh, here we are.
We've lost Judy.
Oh, okay. I thought we were doing better because the screen was
Well,
bigger, so
what it
there we
might have been is that her software might have just crashed.
are. I have another question. She's not here now. So we had those 2 nights at 6. And then we're going to have these people we're going to interview. All these people are going to come forward, and then we'll pick everybody to interview, or however many people we're going to pick to interview. The sooner that we can pick the. Oh, here's hi. You there? Can you hear us?
She's muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Okay.
There you are.
I'm using my phone and I'm restarting my computer so I could send you that
Okay.
document because it is extremely slow today and I don't know what the problem is. So But anyway, so I have a packet together. I will make copies. Remind me again how many people there are?
11,
11.
and then you'd be 12.
Okay, great. So I'll have enough copies and then I'll have in envelopes the link so that people can take that home and get on the application website.
Okay.
And it's the application website is so very easy. It really isn't a problem. And I'll also give people my telephone number. So if they run into issues where they don't know how to use something, they could always call me and I can help them with that. So I'm
So
going back.
curious
Yeah.
about what file infrastructure you use.
Tell you the truth, I'm not quite sure. They've changed it. They constantly update it, so I don't know what system it really is. But basically, when they go on, they can just click on a folder, and inside the folder, all the parts of the application. And so they could look through all of those. And then what they'll also have is a printed sheet that they could just write notes and ratings on. Last, they'll have a link to a Survey Monkey. It's like a Survey Monkey link that they'll put all their results on that so that when here in the office, we'll get everybody's and then we can compile it before that meeting where you meet the second time. So by the time you meet the second time and I, show up, I'm going to have already who was the person that everybody agreed should be interviewed? Who are the 3 people that everybody agreed should not be interviewed? And what that does that helps us a lot is it helps us to concentrate on the ones we're not sure, we don't agree entirely on, rather than talking about each one ad nauseum. You know what I mean? You end up concentrating so that by the time you leave, you're pretty confident that these are the people you definitely should interview. So anyway, I think I think explaining that process to them and what they need to do for homework for that next time is really important. The other thing that like I said, some districts do for homework is they nail down the questions. They might discuss them at this meeting and then nail them down later. You could see simply how far you get with them to see if you want to do it as homework or try to get through it all in one night. So anyway, I am just finally, my computer is up. I am getting into, let's see, shared with me. Here we go. I'll get into that folder that you created. And now I am going to upload that that file. So it'll just take me 1 minute and then you'll get to see it and we could go through it together. ESP. Of course, there's so many folders here. Let me just, current, Greenfield. Interview workshop packet, it's going to be called. 1 upload complete.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
That means it should show up now on your computer if you want to try to open it, Stacy.
I mean, successfully uploaded into the drive.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you only have your phone. That's going to be difficult to share.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, we can look at it.
I mean, the other thing too is I could talk through it, obviously.
Right.
Well, we all have your home number now too. Don't worry, I probably will call them and ask them for instructions instead of bothering you. They've been very helpful with
Oh, no, I don't mind
both
at all.
of them. Thank you.
I don't mind at all. You know, sometimes, because this is a Word doc, don't worry about the formatting when you look at it because it's going to be a little odd. I will print it out so it looks nice.
And
But in
I
the
can-
packet, just for everyone, the first page is an outline of what is going to happen at this meeting.
Okay.
So
Okay.
because these people aren't, you all are comfortable with every part of the search process, I'll do a quick overview of the process, the timeline, the role of my role, the screening committee role, and the role of the school committee. Very, very quick. Then we'll review the successful candidate profile. So that'll be right in their packet. And that's going to be important for this group because I remind them that their role is to take the needs of the community as described in the profile and match it with available candidates. So we'll review that candidate profile, talk about how it's going to be used to generate questions. And then number 3, we'll talk about this first step that they're in right now. And that NESDEC already organized all the applications for them. Everything is online and not in paper. Their job is to determine applicants for interview. I'll go over some guidelines for conducting the screening interviews and the guidelines for recommending applicants for further consideration by the school committee, which is really the second meeting, not the first. Okay, so organizing for the preliminary interviews. At this meeting, you have a stretch of dates for the interviews. We're going to review those dates at this meeting and decide what time those interviews start. Some people will say, if everybody says I can come at 4:00, then then it'll work. So we'll decide at this meeting the dates for the interviews. We won't know how many people they're going to interview yet. So usually what people end up doing is having 2 or 3 dates that are firm and one is just in case. And then from the candidate profile, we'll select themes. Like the themes might be communication. What were some of the things, Stacy, that came out for your district specifically that people?
3 top ones were
Yeah.
educational leadership,
Yeah.
inclusive practices and collaborative leadership, and
Yeah.
then someone who does ops and management.
Yeah.
Who
Okay.
knows
So
budgets
we'll
inside
look
and out.
more specifically. We might have a theme being budget and finance, a theme being your working together with your administrative team or collaborating with administrative team and town. So we'll decide on those themes and then develop the interview questions. So like I said, we might end up starting that. And if people are really indecisive, you may decide, you know what, we're going to do it off the meeting. Determining the location for the interviews. Do you already have a location?
I mean, we'll use one of the spots we have available to us from the schools.
Yeah.
And the last time you and I sort of talked about how the first round interviews would go, most of those would be virtually as well, right? With the candidates.
I would not recommend that. No, if they're out of state, like if they are in Florida and you decide to interview them, you could do it virtually. But otherwise, I would bring them in. You learn a lot. Just
You really
having
do.
them in the room.
Great.
I would recommend too that and you can think about this now, this could be on your to-do list right now. You gotta have somebody that's not on the screening committee who kind of greets them, make sure that they know where to go, make sure that the person leaving goes out a different door than the person coming in, that type of thing. I always had my executive secretary. I used to flex her hours. You know what I
that's
mean
good.
for interviews
Yeah.
like this, but you might choose somebody else.
That would be probably a good sort of neutral.
Yeah,
Um,
I will be sure to ask
Yeah,
if she's
yeah,
amenable to
that's true.
something like that. 'Cause if she doesn't want to be here at night, then we won't ask her. But if she's open to it,
Yeah.
right. But we could probably do some overtime to have that happen, couldn't we?
if
It's up to
she's,
you.
it depends on what she values more, money or time.
I know, but
We-
I'm just
we can
thinking
certainly
that's
find someone to be
a,
those. Sure.
Yeah. Um,
because I
Then
don't
I'll-
think that should be a school committee member at all.
Agreed.
That should not be a school committee member.
yeah, I agree. It could be the student that you're not having on the selection committee. I mean, I don't know. But then
Yep,
that
that's
part
true.
of the issue was you didn't want them to have to give up that much time from their studies too. So it's up to you who you have. The other thing, so number 5 is how the interviews look, like how do you conduct the interview? We'll talk about questions to avoid, listening and observing, how you close the interview, and taking notes. Anyone who takes notes, those notes should be collected.
Mhm.
I tell people don't put anything in the notes that if it went to had to go to legal, would be a question. You don't put anything in the notes about how they look, or anything that would lead people to think that you are biased. So it is very important not to do that. In general, sometimes not taking notes is the best deal, but they cannot leave with anything. When they leave these interviews, you should not have them leaving with papers and so on, because it's just not confidential. I talk about confidentiality specifically. And I also talk about everybody. I always have somebody who says, "Oh, I know somebody who lives in Spencer. I'm going to call them and see how they did over there." And it's like, you can't really do that. Each individual member of the screening committee their role is not to do reconnaissance work. You know what I mean? Or anything like that. So we talk about that. And we
What
talk.
level of just Googling people's names?
That's good. That's the review acceptable internet sources. It really is okay to Google. It really, really is okay to Google. But I warn people that you will not find anybody. Maybe I'll pull up some of my Google things. They're so funny. I mean, not that they're funny. They're funny now. They weren't funny at the time. But when you Google something, you might get some newspaper guy who had it in for so and so. But later on, that whole article was discredited. So you've got to be very careful what you look up. So I kind of talk about that in general. And then we talk about the fact that no one communicates with the press and no one communicates with colleagues about the search. And that if anything, if they had something, whenever somebody asks them, just have a line you're ready with. Like, "Oh, the search process is going well. We're on our timeline and it's going well." That's all you have to say. You don't have to really say anything else. So, and so then in general, in executive session, you review the applicants, but we're not going to do any review of that for this first meeting.
Did you have a question?
I do. So I heard the part about if anybody wrote anything down, taking it home and so on and so forth. But If we have 11 people that are doing interviews, this is what we do when I do the interviews, we'll have 3 or 4 people. We have the same questions. We're going to have the same questions.
Absolutely. No,
Right.
the
Nobody can ask it.
questions, the
I was-
questions we come up with are the questions. The
and no
only
others.
time you could even do a follow-up is when it's unclear, like
Mhm.
you worked in Falmouth, was that Maine or Massachusetts? Factual follow-up questions. That's it.
So, at the end of ours, we do take notes and we turn them in, and that's
Yeah.
okay. I
Yeah.
certainly can understand that. But as I'm going along, we go like 1 through 5 on the answers. That's just how you perhaps don't use the same scale,
Mhm.
but you'll do 1 through 5 on the answer. So you've actually categorized, like you thought this person did excellent on
Yeah.
this answer. And I would say with 11 people that we don't know all of them. I just want to put in a pitch for this to be having something where there's like a little numerical scoring that people had done, because personal dynamics, we have a couple of people here, and I'm thinking of just the role of a role that one person has. You have somebody who is an assistant principal and somebody whose position is, if you're making a caste system, you would see as lower. You know what I'm saying? Not putting it that way. One person might speak like the principal might speak, and then that next person might not have as much to say, because sometimes people can be a little drowned out, or that was what I was worrying about that. And I think if you have a numerical something that you wrote down, it's actually there. And you look at it afterwards, and I thought, okay, if I finish and I had a 95 for somebody, and I don't know, I just think there's something to be said for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is that the
I'll
Survey
tell you one
Monkey?
thing though, because you don't calibrate,
Okay.
you'll have somebody who has all low scores, just like if you were grading essays.
Yes. Yep.
You'll have somebody, or you'll have somebody who will have the same score for everybody. So it's really, really hard to compare your 95 to my 95, even if we're of the same caliber or not. One thing that we do usually stress during these interviews is everybody's equal. Like nobody has nobody should think that because of their
Mhm.
role that they know more than the next person, because it really does diminish what they have to say, and
Right.
that's not fair. I mean, ultimately, it's the school committee that picks the person, but even you 3 are better off not having the loudest voice in the room, because
Absolutely.
yeah, because you have this opportunity to really listen to other people. I find that number scores or a ranking type of thing is okay within one person, so they know which of these candidates answered best, but it's hard to compare one number of somebody to somebody else. In
So
the
Judy,
end,
how do you do it after we finished? So say that we interviewed 4 or 5 people, and I have to go in a minute because I have something else
Yeah.
that I missed up a little bit
so
on the
after you
schedule.
interview people, you could rank all of them and say, this was my favorite, this is my second favorite, this is my third favorite. But to do it by this person got a score of a 95 and this person got a score of a 75 isn't that useful unless you're all calibrated one against the other.
So my question is, and I can understand that, that's fine. I am not wedded to that idea by
Yeah.
any matter of means. I just want to make sure, like you said, that in our room, everyone is the same. So
Yeah.
when we finish, say that we had 3 people to interview on a day, say that we did 3 people. After we finish those 3, is there
No, you
discussion
usually
that
wait
day?
till you have everybody. You
Okay.
wait till everybody's been interviewed.
Got it. Okay, so,
Um,
and I have also seen this, I'm just gonna say this last thing. That the people that are at the end do better. I want you just to remember that. I've seen that myself with
They're
the
the
people
ones
that
you
come in.
remember freshest.
I had a great person on day one, on day
Mhm.
one. And then we interviewed somebody after that. That's all. I
Yeah,
just think those are important things to think of.
yeah, that might be a good warning to give your whole group and say, remember that because they're freshest in your mind, you might overrate the last person you saw.
Yep.
So be very conscious of that as you go through each person and review each one individually.
I'm sorry. I have to
Oh,
leave
okay.
early. I apologize. I thought it was at 12. So I
Yeah.
was here nice and early. But I'm
Okay.
sorry to have to leave you early. Whatever you
Yeah.
decide is the right thing.
Yeah. So, okay, I'll continue then. In the packet is the actual timeline. So that way we have it as a reference.
Great.
In the packet is the candidate profile. So it's right there in the packet.
Wonderful.
And then there's also a talk about what homework, what do people do after they leave this meeting? Um, And it really is about how to read each application, complete the interest indicator in your packet. There's a paper. And then when you're done with that, you go to the Survey Monkey and you put your answers in. There's the next page is preparing your interview questions, but if you're gonna do all the interview questions at this meeting, I could take this out of the homework and put it in a different place. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, I think the goal is to have as much done in session as possible.
Okay.
When it comes to that sort of stuff. Is this a packet that we can email to the members now?
Yep, we
Great.
can. We can. Oh,
Great.
You know what, Stacy? You know what another idea is?
What?
If we go over the candidate profile and pick the general themes, give
Mhm.
everybody sample questions, they could come to the second meeting and you could write the questions at the second meeting. Now everybody's prepared and you'll be more efficient. Do you think that might work out better?
That could be good
I think that
because
I think that could be really good because then people will have a chance to think about it. I think they might be stuck and then know what'll happen after the meeting. They'll be like, "Oh, we came up with this question, but I have a better one." You know what I mean?
I like the idea of the questions coming together after everyone has at least a chance to look at materials, because you might come up with what you think is a good question, but the materials answer it so well that it's a wasted question.
That's a good idea. So that's a good point, I think. So if there's also sample questions in this packet. Um, and so people might take them and make them better and come back to the next meeting. And I think have better questions than if you just tried to bang it out at this first meeting. Um, so anyway, it says at an upcoming meeting, we will confirm the interview dates, but I think we should look at the calendar at this meeting. And I mean, at the second meeting, you'll know how many candidates to interview. And let's say there are 6. You could do that in 2 nights. Let's say there's 9, you'll want to have 3 nights, so it'll depend on the numbers.
we told people to hold the 15th through the 18th. So
That's great.
we have 4 days.
That's more than enough. And like, I can't tell right now how many applicants you'll have because like 2 people dropped out, 2 new people came in. Not everybody is complete. And the person in the office here who handles them says, oh, if you have an Thanksgiving break, that's when people will knock it out, and get it done. And then, so it's due right after Thanksgiving, which is actually a good due date, you know?
Yeah. So
Okay,
our-
I was going to say the next page, which is what page is this? Page 8 on the packet that I have is
Mhm.
what the candidate application, like the worksheet looks like. So they get to write down the names of the candidate. They decide if they're definitely interested, somewhat interested, and not interested. Keep it simple like that. And once they do that, and then they put the data into SurveyMonkey, at that second meeting, we'll definitely get to see who the candidates are that most people are definitely interested
who are the
in.
definite yes, the definite no, and the murky middle.
Yeah, and the murky middle is what we end up talking about more, and that makes sense. The next page is talking about interview techniques. And so it gets into like you ask the same questions. So all those type of things that we kind of talked about a little bit. And also the first few questions should be aimed at putting everyone at ease. You don't pop in with the most dramatic question first.
Yeah, build up to it.
Yeah, build up to it. So anyway, that goes over that. The next page, which is page 11, is example questions.
Great.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what to start with, but I often find that groups come in and change them and make them more their own. And that's good. That's actually good. It makes it more personal too. So I have sample questions there. And then there's a sample interview evaluation form, which you can choose to use. We could decide at this meeting whether you want to use it or not, but for the application materials, you could say, the appearance of whether they had good college, university preparation, classroom experience. You could kind of use this for each candidate if people feel like it's comfortable, they can be comfortable with this, so that when they discuss the candidates, they'll be able to have that discussion. Because you'll forget, when you finally get to that second meeting, you're like, oh, was that Miller or Smith that had a lot of it classroom experience? You forget. So by writing your notes on this sheet, that's a sample form. Interview perceptions. I know that we just talked about putting numbers down. This one just puts low, average, or high for each one of these things. Were they an effective communicator? How did they respond to difficult questions? Did they give good evidence of innovation and creativity and so on? So we could look at this at the meeting. And let's see. Yeah, and they're told not to share any of this with anyone else. Okay, and then comes the meeting number 2 in the meeting number 2 agenda. This is just a sample agenda. You can make it like you make it for Greenfield. But we are definitely have to adjourn to executive session at that second meeting, definitely.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think we can even actually call it as an executive session. So we just jump right in.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, perfect.
So
And that's
great.
it.
I mean,
That's the packet.
that's wonderful. And if I can share that packet with folks ahead of time, I think that will be great. And I can make sure to note what we just discussed about actually finalizing the questions in that second meeting.
Yeah, I
So
think
that means that
the packet makes it sound like you're doing that as well.
oh, good.
Yeah, know what I'll do? I'll take my Word document though, and I'll turn it into a PDF and put it in the folder, so that way it's PDF'd, so that it looks good, because this has a few weird
Well, yeah,
formatting.
from one computer to the next, the formatting shifts will
Yeah,
happen.
and from Word to Google Doc, it shifts too, I find, for sure.
Great. So
So our tasks for coordination are sending the email with what time and the packet, making the reservations of where we're going to stay, not stay, the reservations for meeting, getting any dietary restrictions and
Yeah.
placing a dinner order.
Yep, and then the Chromebook.
Oh, and the Chromebook, yes.
Okay, so are we starting at 6:30 or a different time?
Well, that's an excellent question. Is there a time that would be best for you? Our
Um,
thinking is for 3-hour meetings, we don't want to make people stay to 9:30, so we're going
No.
to start at 6.
I
Start
would
at
rather
6.
start at 6 as well. I think
Great.
that makes sense, especially since you're providing dinner.
Yeah, so we'll call it 6 to 9, both of those first 2 days. And
Yep.
then at that first meeting, we'll look at our calendars again to plan for the week of the 15th for actual
Perfect.
interviews.
Yeah.
Great. All of that sounds awesome. And could I ask you to actually draft the text of this email?
Sure.
And I will actually do the sending and do the legwork of the reservations, etc.
Sure.
Great. Thank you very much.
I will write that up and email that to you. Let's see, today's Thursday, right? Yes, later today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Judy. I really appreciate the overview of those next like.
No problem.
Set of
I think
steps
we're
and-
in good place. So I know the job here is to continue to get the applications together. Do you want me to make physical copies of this, or you're just going to give it to everybody by email and that's fine?
I think we're just planning to do email.
Yeah, we could just do it with
So we
email.
might want to have some physical copies on hand for the actual meeting itself.
Right. We might have physical copies available in the room, but I don't
Yep.
think we're gonna like mail everybody a packet of physical.
Okay, good. Okay, so I'll just make like a half dozen, do you think, or do you want me to make 50?
We'll share.
I think some people will share, some people might bring tablet, and if people have Chromebooks, they'd have it on Chromebook.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So I
true.
think half
Yeah,
dozen
half a
should be
dozen
fine.
sounds
Half
good.
dozen will be fine. Okay, I'll do
People
that.
connect together.
Yeah, and
I'll-
I'll
and I'll
have
have the links in
computer.
the envelopes.
7,000 devices.
Perfect.
Great.
All right. All right. If you need anything else from me, you could just let me know.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and again, the location is, I forgot the location.
Well, we
Is it-
haven't specifically said it yet, but
Oh,
it'll be
that's right.
somewhere. It'll be somewhere here in the Greenfield Public Schools, whether that's the library that you had the focus groups at or
Yeah.
here in this conference room. We'll see what's
Okay.
available.
Okay, just let me know. That's perfect.
Can do.
All right. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye now.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 1:30 p.m. Thank you.